If I was born now and I was a kid today, having, you know, the internet and being able to find other people like me would have made my life a lot easier. I would have very quickly established that I was definitely a non-binary person, and it would have taken all the confusion away as a child. Not that I feel like I need a label, but I am 43 now and I've lived a long time as me, the way I am, as a he, him, and there's all that stuff, so I'm okay to continue doing that.
Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, Sunny says hello as well, but he's actually being quiet. There's been a couple of videos that I've done where he's been like squeaking at things and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't sound so annoying when I'm right next to him, but I can understand how that might be a little bit grating. I don't trust anyone that doesn't have coffee marks or like on their coffee mug. I don't trust anyone. Or maybe I'm just ridiculously messy when I drink coffee. Anyway, beyond the point. Just to clarify, to get it off the bat, I've been covering SACCONEJOLYs for like over a year. I've been covering them since last February, I think. And I started covering them when Jonathan started doing his whole selling his book, and then the ED exploitation and so on and so forth. I'm trying to word this properly, okay? So basically, right, you can be whatever you want to be. You can throw whatever label you want. You can say that you're a unicorn. I do not care. I'm fully accepting. I do not give a toss what you want to be. Really do not care. However, in Jonathan's case, and I'm just putting this out there right now in case anyone's just like, oh, well, you know, you've got to be more accepting over people who they're wanting to. But the thing is, right, I've been covering them for so long, and I started covering them because Jonathan was coming out with all this different stuff. And he made such a hubbub to the point where he went on like several radio interviews, getting shirty with the interviewers, saying, you know, how you can't put a label on me, but I'm non-binary, and he created this whole entire persona for so long, while simultaneously also saying, guys, stop putting labels on me. He wrote a book dedicated to it, which apparently didn't really give away too much anyway, and he basically, it became like a part of his whole entire thing, and it coincided with ED when ED then when ED, you know, came out as trans. And the thing is that because they coincided together, he was literally doing all these radio interviews, and it was like a show running thing. They even did like they even went on was it the news? They went on Sky News or something. They went on, I'm pretty sure it was Sky News, making it into this whole production like, I'm non-binary and my child is trans. They made it this whole entire thing.
Have been documenting their life online.
Hello. Welcome to the vlog.
To almost 2 million loyal followers. But they've turned their backs on YouTube and now focus on mental health and gender identity.
I want to show the world that it's okay to be who you really are.
Dad Jonathan recently revealed he's non-binary, and their second child, born a boy, is now a transgender girl.
The thing is, right, all of a sudden it's gone radio silent, and I have noticed this, and under normal circumstances I just don't care. Whatever you want to be, just be it. But the problem with Jonathan is that he's not only done it, but he's also confused everyone to the point where I've watched his latest video about 3 different times, 4 maybe, and I still cannot tell you what was actually said in it.
First thing I did is I just made a big mess. I just started ripping things off, throwing things all over the place, saying things and talking about things.
He did a video where it was titled, Am I non-binary or something? I already got confused because for such a long time he was saying, you can't put a label on me. I am nor man nor woman. I don't identify as either. Making it ultra confusing. He's never been forthright with it, but he's just made, like, he's basically tried, and this is just my own personal opinion, he basically recognised that there was a huge trend going on, and he thought that that would then be the perfect time to try and incorporate him being non-binary into it. And I'm so sorry if that causes offence. I am sorry, but this is just my own personal opinion. And under normal circumstances, once again, I wouldn't doubt anyone if they were telling me. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter. Like, is anyone not sleeping at night wondering, is Jonathan non-binary or not? In a video that he just did, they did like a what we eat in a day as a family, and he said this.
Now that breakfast is finished, this is the final thing. I take 3 of the Wellmans because I'm a man and I want to be well. So I take the Wellmans 3
Really, I actually was a bit confused about, because for a while he kept on saying like man, and it's like, you can be whatever you want, but the thing is that you keep on contradicting yourself there. I thought that you didn't identify as either, and I felt like when he originally came out and he was literally, it was to the point where he was quite honestly like chucking out all of his clothes. It was literally a major part of his channel, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. When I say this was a major part of his channel, this was quite literally all he was talking about for months, and now all of a sudden it's just disappeared. And so he's then come out with this video where he's trying to explain whether or not he is or isn't non-binary, and I'm just gonna play to you the answer to the question right now.
Having, you know, the internet and being able to find other people like me would have made my life a lot easier. I would have very quickly established that I was definitely a non-binary person, and it would have taken all the confusion away as a child, and I would have continued through life with that knowledge. And not that I feel like I need a label, but I am 43 now and I've lived a long time as me, the way I am, as a he, him, and there's all that stuff, so I'm okay to continue doing that.
Because I can't for the life of me, it doesn't compute in my head. So he's basically saying that he said that he's basically like leaving it all behind, and that he had to rip apart all of this stuff out of him, and now it's all over the place, and now he is just him. But it didn't really answer the question, and it kind of felt like he was alluding to it just being a phase, which it was quite literally his whole entire personality for so long.
The reason I'm not like out there talking about stuff is because I reached the end of the adventure. I went on the adventure and I figured it out. I came to the conclusion of I let all of the things that I was just carrying around in me, they were just taking up space in my body and my mind, and they were just taking up all this space. And now that they're gone, I had space to like have new experiences and new feelings, and it feels great.
He also dropped his book in there, started going on about his book, and he inserted the most ridiculous clips that I completely forgot coming from his Instagram of him fake crying to writing the end of his book. And I will also insert that right here. Was basically just sound like it had this like sad soundtrack put over it. If they're doing like sit downs, there's always some weird music just playing over the top of it to try and make you feel a certain way, and I'm just not buying it. He says that he doesn't want to be labeled and all of this, and he doesn't agree with people labeling other people and all of that, but quite literally all he does, and all Anna does, all any of them do, is put labels on themselves. All of them. Literally all of them. They put labels on their kids, on their own personalities. This is my understanding of that whole entire video. If you've seen it, you might know what I mean. I felt like he was basically saying that it was some sort of a midlife crisis, and I'm sorry, because that might sound really dismissive over what he chooses to label himself as, even though he doesn't like labels. Make it make sense. But the way that he was describing this whole entire thing, being like, you know, I just had a panic and I just I'm in my 40s. It just kind of felt like he was having a bit of a midlife crisis.
You know, I was having these moments where I was sort of having these kind of midlifey feelings of trying to understand and unpick my trauma and open boxes that I had stored away.
And now he's just like, oh, I'm finished, I'm done with that now. And I'm like, but he's like, I've taken you along this journey with me. And it's, the thing is, right, I think he was quite literally using social media as his own personal diary. And there's so many things wrong with doing that, because the human mind is so complex, and one day I'll be feeling a certain way and another day I'll be feeling another way. If I actually voiced my internal monologue out loud, like a lot of other people, you'd have people A, being confused, and B, being a bit worried for you, because let's be real, everyone goes through dips and ups and downs, but you don't turn to a camera and voice these things. And because he's done that, and he literally treated social media as his online diary, I really do think he was just voicing his own midlife crisis. And I'm sorry, I am sorry, but I have quite honestly, I've watched the whole entire thing. The amount of comments that people were saying, like, this doesn't make any sense, Jonathan, this doesn't make any sense. The amount of things, I swear to God, I've watched this video 4 to 5 times and I can't actually comprehend really what he's saying. He just starts going over his book and he just starts going, well, you know, let's take it all back. And it's like, we don't need to go back, we don't need to go back, we don't even need to know this, it's just a moot point. We don't need to know this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is so unnecessary, and I'm not entirely sure why it's still being brought up. I feel like they've always got to throw in these little things every so often to try and keep the audience engaged in their storylines, but quite well and truly, it is. But I thought I'd recap this, or try and recap this, because of course I've been critical of their handling of the various situations. Both Jonathan and Edie went through these life changes at the same time, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but at that time, you know, myself and a lot of people were a bit confused as to why this is all happening now.
But they've turned their backs on YouTube and now focus on mental health and gender identity.
And I'm not saying that in any way Jonathan is infiltrating this, because a lot of people say that Jonathan is putting his own thoughts and feelings on Edie, and I don't actually necessarily think so. I think what happened is Jonathan could actually see a way of cashing this in, hence the reason why he made a book. I mean, he brought the book out so quickly after coming out and being like, I'm non-binary. And the thing is that there are so many people nowadays who identify as non-binary who don't then write books about it and who don't then cash in on it. Not as if he was coming out and he was saying like, oh, you know, I'm going to leave my wife, I've now realized that I'm gay and I've left it. That would be a completely different kettle of fish. But he was very much alluding to the fact that he didn't feel like a man or a woman, but then being so vague about it that in the end everyone's just gotten bloody bored of it and no one really cares. I mean, I must care enough to do a whole video on it, but it ties into just what happened with them last year.
There's a lot of people during that adventure that expected me to like turn into a girl or make some huge thing or leave Anna or like, you know, make some big dramatic gesture like the media always presents itself, that like this is what's gonna happen. But
I do urge any of you guys to go and watch the video so that you can actually see what I mean, because it deadened brain cells. The very few brain cells I have left, it deadened them because I can't comprehend what he's actually saying. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. I'm going to go and drink my coffee and then I'm going to go and do a school run. But I wish you guys lots of happiness. Have a fabulous day and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.